Kettering,
Here.
Terry Koenig,
He's absent.
Deborah Bodenstedt,
Here.
Zane Williams,
Here.
Ken Guthmiller, Michael Welch.
Yes.
Quorum present.
We have the minutes from the previous meeting on July. We have a motion for approval.
I'll second it.
Who's my motion?
Don.
And I second it.
Okay. Voice vote? Okay.
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes from the July 10th meeting passed as approved as written. So at the end of the evening, when we get done, there's about 6 things. There's a South Dakota law change July 1st. There's a opportunity for public comment. Each person will get 3 minutes. It has to be relevant to something in the county and not necessarily not the issues of tonight. There'll be a chance on that. And when, if you want to speak at the end, there can't be a personal vendetta or whatever. It's just has to be an issue. There's a sign-up sheet right there by the door on that chair. So if you would like to speak on some topic at the end of the evening, sign up, and then every person will get 3 minutes. We gotta wait a couple of minutes for the 705 applicant.
You know, it's coming through here and it's not on.
Turn yours on. How are we doing that?
Issues, if you come up, please speak loud and clearly so that it can be recorded as part of the record. We'll go on with the 705 scheduled Jason Yankton. Apologize if I mess up your name. Applicant is requesting a variance of minimum lot requirement from 20 acres to 2 acres in the agriculture district in Yankton County. Said property is legally described as tract 1A, north 1/2, northeast 1/4, except Arnson tract 1, and except west 539 feet, east 1,371 feet, and except west 209 feet, east 1,580, north 296 feet, north 1/2, northeast 1/4, except Irene City parcel, section 1, township 95 north, range 54 west, hereinafter referred to as Marndall Township, county of Yankton, state of South Dakota. The 911 address is to be announced, South Dakota Highway 46, Irene. Mr. Yankton, if you're here, if you could come up and present your proposal.
I guess my proposal is just gonna be that, so.
Sorry, you haven't done one already.
No.
Okay, here's the podium, and then you won't have to worry about mics, and then there's at the commission.
Okay, what we're looking at doing is, putting up a 50 by 60 steel building off of 46. We're gonna be using existing driveway that's there with the rodeo grounds. And we're gonna be putting a glass repair shop in there. So that's basically what we're looking at doing.
But you're gonna put in a bathroom?
Yes, there will be bathrooms. Floor drains are gonna be kind of cold. I'm not for sure how that works up there. There will be separate septic. No living quarters, just office. A couple garage doors.
It's part of the, or next to rodeo grounds?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not,
We're on the west side of the east side of the rodeo grounds. There's a line of green pine trees there. That's what I described it.
It's not Irene.
Yes, sir.
Just coming up the hill.
Yep, just coming up the hill, yes.
Right across from the cemetery.
Yep.
west side of the road.
So pull up your picture there. It's on the very back part of your packet there, at your area, of your rodeo grounds, his driveway that is gonna use is going right there. It's a little hard, it's coming off 46. And there's an empty lot, and then you're right over there.
So,
You're gonna be on the west side of the east side of the rodeo, or you're gonna
West.
be up the hill? You're gonna be.
West side of the west side.
Right. You said west of east, I was like, I didn't think you'd go
yeah,
slow.
I thought about it after.
Yeah.
I'm confused, west side of west?
Side of the rodeo.
Take a look, when you look at the property too now, just to help out a little bit, looking at that corner is already chunked out, because that got sold a long time ago.
Yes, there was an existing acre there that Greg Anderson owned that we took and made into one tract. There was 2 tracts there.
And so now we get the one next to it, there's another chunk out there.
For a total of 2 acres, yes.
Right, this is what we want right here.
That's already existing. We don't want this bigger. We're gonna make another one right next to it,
No, he's gonna,
to the west. Making sense? Because you go back
to
to
the
the
west,
plat
so
map.
be over here.
Look at your plat. This lot that you're looking at already exists.
So we're going over here.
It's already pulled out.
Right?
I'm not, you guys sound like on the right page, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that the lot is gonna go to the south. The existing one is the north one. We took another lot to the south, didn't we?
Right.
Here. Okay, then it did go west, okay.
You go back and forth, look at your plat, and you can see the little black spot that shows where that lot will be, and it's got a little white spot in there, which is where this has already been pulled out, and it's all highway traffic.
Good. So it's not
Yes, we'll do one more.
right there.
We're doing another one now. We have our access off of 46.
So the rodeo ground sits right here.
You're not getting this big trail here.
No.
I think there was a 1 acre one right
That's
here.
still John.
This is the quarter section. Yeah.
How big is that corner that's already cut out?
See that?
About an acre.
That's 1 acre? And you're,
It's
you
not
want,
the same size, what he's planting, what's he planting now?
he's planting 2 acres, I believe.
The plat request is for
2 acres.
It's for 2 acres, so that's a 2 acre sitting there. It's that big size.
It's currently zoned ag, but you want to change it to zoned what?
Commercial.
Well, we don't want to do it as
No, just apply.
As an ag district, we're gonna do a conditional use permit, put that in there. We don't have enough commercial if there's any kind of rezone.
Okay.
I'll make that comment here in a minute, but we're just asking for variance on the lot, and then we're gonna do a CUP for the business.
Okay.
So any other questions for Mr. Janton right now? We're going to go on to public comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I do just a little clarification?
Yes.
It's a little bit, okay, when you take a look at that property, we're coming up off into Yankton County, right out of Irene, so you're on the eastern edge of Yankton County. You're going down Highway 46, and right away to go south, you have the elevator, the grain elevator. Okay, and then right away to the north, you have the truck firm, I think it's Larson Truck Firm, and then we have a contractor there. Those have been there for a long time. Okay, so now we have the rodeo grounds, and then now we have this coming along. It's almost time to rezone it into like a strip, a commercial strip, but maybe not quite. It's just that it's taken an awful long time to get even this on that south side. So I don't think it's time to do a rezone there. That's why I'm saying we should do a conditional use underneath the ag and leave it for a little bit longer.
Well, because on the north side, like Hanson's got the old co-op feed store, there's no business there, that's just a farm shop. So how would you
So this is a
that?
cemetery, the other thing you see here is a
Right,
cemetery.
so I don't think we're in a position to want to rezone yet, but I think we're in a place where we could offer conditional use, he does have the access and that kind of thing, which is a listed use underneath that. Okay. So that's what the thought process is with this, so we're looking to get the variance first, and then we come in and do the conditional use for the business proposal.
So, the surrounding farmland, does that belong to you, Kirk?
No, it belongs to John Arneson.
He's selling the property.
He's selling it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anyone in the audience who would speak opposed to this project? Is there anyone in the audience who would speak in favor of this project? With no public input, back to the planning commission for further discussion.
How high are these walls gonna be?
It's gonna be flat slab, 16-foot sidewalls on the building. So there will be no concrete walls, we'll just probably trench some footings, or flat slab.
How big
Be
square
full-
foot? How many square
50
foot?
by 60.
50 by 60. So.
Glass repair, glass repair,
Yes, sir.
windows or?
Yes, windows, trucks, we're gonna cut some glass, so we'll do some flat glass also.
Should run cars.
I'm probably the only one that's for the ground up roads.
Is there a motion?
You know,
We do the first variance or?
You have to do the variance first.
I make a motion that we approve the lot requirement, 20 acres to 2 acres.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have to call that.
Oh, roll call.
Excuse me, who's my, Kevin?
I
No,
make a
Bob
motion.
did.
Kevin seconded.
No, Carl.
Carl did.
Oh, Carl.
Gretzinger.
President.
Okay, so this is for the minimum of the variance of minimum lot requirement, 20 acres, 2 acres.
Yes.
Vogelstep,
Yes.
Gretzinger,
Yep.
Udo,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Kettering,
Yes.
Welch.
Yes.
Okay.
The second part of this is plat consideration for Jatten, which is Jatten Tract. Jatten Tract, northwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 1, township 95 north, range 54 west, hereinafter referred to as Marindal Township, County of Yankton, state of South Dakota, 911 address is to be announced, South Dakota Highway 46, Irene, South Dakota. Applicant is we actually got 3 things in this, huh?
This is the first business.
The plat consideration, which addresses the plat enclosed in the package that we got tonight.
I move approval of plat request.
No, second, yeah.
Roll call.
Okay, excuse me, who did the motion?
Kettering.
Kettering?
I second.
Okay.
Udall.
Okay, for plat consideration approval, Kettering,
Yes.
Udo,
Yes.
Gretzinger,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Vogelstep,
Yes.
Welch.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The third part of this is the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to operate a storage unit business and an agricultural business. I thought we were doing glass, you have to clarify that, Pat. Storage unit business in agriculture district, said property is legally described as Jackton Tract 1, northwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 1, township 95 north, range 54 west, hereinafter referred to as Marindal Township, County of Yankton, state of South Dakota, 911 address to be announced, South Dakota Highway 46, Irene, South Dakota.
Yay.
I make a motion to approve the additional use permit.
Second.
I got one question, though. No, are you gonna put up a storage unit?
No, I don't know, we've had a little confusion on that, it's just a glass repair shop.
No storage units.
So why are we?
We're gonna-
It's still a business. It's still a
It's a
commercial
business.
business. I have to change it from storage units to.
Glass repair
to
business.
glass repair shop.
Oh,
Glass-
that's what I thought.
There might be some minimal, like, I might get into, I don't know, maybe some light tires or something, but it's gonna stay a minor repair shop.
So instead of a storage unit, it could be commercial, should be corrected to be commercial business.
Yep, okay.
Second, and that, with the correction, it would be listed as a commercial business instead of a storage unit business.
Right.
Is there a motion?
Do I need to change that motion?
I just moved,
Yes.
changing it to commercial business.
I make a motion that we accept the conditional use permit to a commercial business.
Yeah, motion.
Okay,
No, I started the motion to start the thing.
I don't care, I second.
It doesn't matter.
I'll
okay,
second.
Gretzinger,
Pardon?
your second?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna change the language in there to commercial business?
Yeah.
Yes.
Additional use permit, in ag district, Rudolph.
Yes.
Gretzinger,
Yeah.
Kettering,
Yes.
Bodenstedt,
Yes,
Williams,
Yes.
Welch.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, folks. You guys have a good evening.
The next item on the agenda is 7:15, Mr. Doug Stevens. Applicant is requesting a variance of minimum yard requirement in front yard from 100 feet to 93 feet, and rear yard from 50 feet to 15 feet, and one side yard from 25 feet to 15 feet in a commercial district in Yankton County. Said property is legally described as east 135 feet, west 335 feet, except south 142.85 feet, except lot H3, section, or south 1/2, west 1/2, west 1/2, northwest 1/4, section 15, township 93 north, range 56 west, hereinafter referred to as Utica South Township, county of Yankton, state of South Dakota. 911 address is 3706 West 7th Street, Yankton, South Dakota. Mr. Stevens,
Yes.
if you want to present your project,
Yeah.
since we don't have a map, kind of put us in this area.
tell us, especially for the audience, tell us where this is at.
It's, where Sealand Marine is, out on, Highway 52, we're to the west of there. The west of the Sealand Marine new building that we haven't.
The new building,
yet.
you just poured the concrete in front of?
Yeah, but it's a building, we're gonna build another building to the west of there. Right to the east of the quick shop,
Yes.
right to the east of the quick shop. Okay, yeah,
Wow, is there enough room in there?
oh yeah, we've got 135 feet. Well, we've got, actually, the more now, we've got about 180 feet in there. From the west side of the new building we just built, over to the east side of the quick shop, we've got, about 185 feet.
Lengthwise, what's the width?
The width is 185 feet. Okay?
Okay.
The length in there is 304 feet. From Highway 52 to the south property line, which is 304 feet.
So this is the area we're talking about now, right? This is the new building.
To the area to the, and then for your benefit there, the area to the, on the right-hand side of your photo there, that has that building on it now.
The new building.
Did the variance a few years ago.
So what, the side yard is, 25 to 15?
Do you own the property right behind it too?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we own everything back to 8th Street. Yeah, we own all that property, yeah.
So why is it that you need to go closer to your neighbor?
So when we put an 80-foot wide building in there, we'll still have 80 foot between the new storage building we're looking at building and our new marine showroom service.
But you're going from, I guess, a minimum of 25 feet, I guess, to 15 feet to your neighbor.
Right.
And I guess what's the necessity of that?
By doing that, we put an 80-foot building in there, we still have 80 foot between the new storage building and the other building. We need that 80 foot between there, so we can back boats, put boats into the new service building and showroom building that we have, into the doors on the west side. Right.
Plus emergency vehicles that
Right.
are able to get through there.
At 15 foot, yes, that'll be enough room for emergency vehicles in there, right?
So it's a convenience thing.
Yeah, I suppose you might say convenience, but it's really a necessity. Because otherwise, if we have to move that over another 10 feet, then we're looking at 70 feet between the new storage building and the existing building we just built, which is not enough room to bring boats in and out. Okay,
So can you make a skinnier building,
and make what?
a narrower
I
building?
could, but I already have the 8-foot building first.
I would see a problem.
So you got the building purchased.
Right.
That's-
So how far from the front, not the Highway 50, but where will the building start relative to the convenience store?
Basically, the front of our building will line up with the new building we just built and with Power Sports. We'll retain that same, we'll retain that same line along the front.
A lot of times, Pat, you have these guys draw on these maps, and we have no idea. I mean, I'm not familiar. Can you come and show me where you're gonna put this thing?
It's in this big square.
Well, I know it's in that big square, but I mean, I can figure that much, but,
You
okay.
got this. I know we have a shrinker for you. You have this.
This is one for you. This is one for here.
No, we don't.
No. I've got it, I've got it, copy of this.
Because what is this blue lot? That's here. Oh, that's
No.
quick,
No,
quick touch, here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Here's the
This
bar.
is.
Yeah, well, this could have this one trigger.
This is.
Yeah.
Okay, and.
Yeah, that's
the
that
gas
part of
station
the thing you built back.
This is the,
This is the quick
Yeah.
touch.
Automatically, that.
this is the bond.
Must be dogs, give it a shake.
That's down here.
Last time when we did this,
On the side, gas station. Restaurant.
water running down, you know, in the fence line.
Yeah.
We wanna do that concrete, yeah. Well, it was gonna run to the east, it was gonna, get some storage on there, and it was gonna run right into,
Oh, Stranger was there. Oh, you're putting
Right.
a
Here's,
pitch,
here's the building you just built.
that's here.
No,
Or it is
that's not
on here.
showing on there.
Oh,
No, that's not showing on, I have no idea what it is.
This is like a continuation.
I don't know, we don't need building back. This was the old, this was the old restaurant that we tore out.
Right, okay.
That's the old restaurant we tore
Yeah,
out.
okay,
When we built the new, when we built this building right here, okay, here's north,
oh, okay.
here's north right here. Okay, here is,
Convenience store.
here's north right here, okay? So we just built, and the old restaurant building set in here.
Right,
Okay, we tore the old restaurant building out and built this 80 by 190 foot building.
right.
In this area,
Just in this area here, right?
running this way.
That's right, and we're 42 foot from the property.
Okay.
Okay.
This is not the new building.
Now, we're gonna put the building here, and we want to set back 15 foot. Okay, that will give us enough room, that 15 foot here, will give us enough room here for emergency vehicle.
And water flow.
Water flow.
And you're gonna have this banked up somewhat so it doesn't.
Well, here's what we're doing out there. Okay,
This,
what do you,
Normally, we have the computer, we can show the screen.
yeah, all this flow, we're bringing the water all to the back, which is what it does right now. But right now, we have a drain tube here, and Stinger keeps pouring more dirt on top of that, more dirt on top of that, and he keeps building it up and back the water up on our property, which he cannot do.
This is an
That's
old,
another point. Okay. So we are gonna spend money,
well,
and we're gonna
it's,
put a 12-inch tube underground under here.
Stop it.
if it was here, it would show that there's a.
And that way, we're gonna drain our,
yeah, well,
And this is gonna go up.
we're gonna put a drain pit and inlet in here. We're gonna put a 12-foot tube in here, we're gonna put that inlet in here, and then we're gonna take it to the natural waterway that goes out to the, year-round.
Right, then that'll go down like, right to the south.
I mean, we're spending this money, which we shouldn't have to spend, but we have to because of what Stringer's doing by throwing all this dirt back in here and closing off that natural waterway.
Okay, let's,
Okay.
we gotta get back to the subject.
Okay, I understand where you're going now.
Okay?
All right.
That's another.
That's another issue, but I'm just saying, I'm just explaining the whole thing kind of to the process. But we've got that all worked out. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Mr. Stevens? Then we'll go into public comment.
But, looks to me like it's gonna be a hell of a problem with snow removal.
Snow removal,
Snow removal.
it shouldn't be, because we don't have to worry about it on the west side, because there's nothing pulling through there anyhow. Okay? I mean, we can make one pass through there, in case we need an emergency vehicle through there. If we need to, I mean, in the wintertime.
On our picture here, we have a white object sitting across the lot line, so what is that?
Nobody knows.
That's
I
the
have no
foundation.
idea.
That's the foundation for the, that was a camper.
Oh,
Oh, there's a camper sitting there. Okay.
How
Well,
about
that
these
picture
things
is-
along the edge here,
How many what?
along the edge, abutting, quick shop and street?
That stuff laying there?
Yeah.
That was the metal building that was laying there that we used when we put up our new building. Yeah, that was our material laying there. Yeah. And that stuff's all gone.
Okay.
You can notice, sir, we're going to public discussion.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in opposition to this project? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in support of this project? There's no input from the audience, back to planning commission, is there any further discussion?
Pat, did anybody submit?
No. No comments, positive or negative regarding this application.
Well, I personally, I like the buildings lined up like they've done.
Yeah.
I guess it just appears to me, and I'm just guessing, that there's gonna be some, with blizzards, there's gonna be a lot of snow piled up out there. That big building will block and it'll drift around, whether it's blowing to the south or the north, it'll be drifting.
and it's gonna pile up on the other people's properties and up against possibly the sidewalks. 15 foot is not very far.
No, it's far from here to the wall.
It's long, 15 foot. Yeah. That's the only thing that we were talking about. How you gonna get that out of there? Well, I mean, if it goes on top of the other guy's property. That's usually what he does, a little bit further. What is it supposed to be, 25?
Yep.
Yeah. No, pretty narrow. What do you guys think?
I think it's just a little small.
Can we make it, as part of, let's say, approval action on this, that his firm has to keep that snow cleared?
How could you do that?
I'm just asking.
No, this is all based on the distances they want here. That's what you have to do.
Well, one of the things I think you gotta look at is the gas station was there, right? So then Stringer's built the bar, so the gas station was before zoning, but Stringer's bar was after zoning, and they can continue back along that property line. So,
They got a variance to do that.
right, and I think, and
They got a variance to do what?
to build Stringer's.
Add on to Stringer's, get back in there. They got a variance to get that close to lot line when they did that building. If you look at the picture there, the back, the south end of Stringer's was offered a variance of 10 feet because that was the existing structure.
To where? To the
Oh, to
south?
match up with
To
the
the gas
original.
station, right, and that was a,
Are they 25 feet from their lot line?
no.
They're 10.
They're
Oh,
10.
they're 10 as well.
So a variance of 15 feet to do that.
And I think what you end up with though is 25 feet in between the two buildings.
20.
Well, if you
No,
go
it'd be 15 and
10,
10, 25.
It's supposed to be 25.
That's 10, from Stringers to the property line is 10.
Yeah.
Then he wants 15, so that's 25.
I appreciate the conversation, but Stringers did come in and ask and wanted to locate their building where you see the south end of that building was by their choice, which they got a variance, 25 feet to 10 feet to build on the back end of that gas station. About 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
And part of that, and then part of that was, it was affecting the drainage across the other lots in the area. Because Stringers was, as he said, filling it in.
And then we were working on that, on the sewer system.
Yeah.
And then so Stringers, and then we also offered the variance to Mr. Stevens 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, on the east building that we just built, that's next to Power Sports. And that one there was the same variance. He gets it, I've asked him to get, like Don's saying, I want him to be that, how far, can we get off the highway, number one? So he's 93 feet of a 100-foot setback on the highway, okay? And that lines him up with Power Sports, the building he just finished, and the proposed will all be lined up. Okay, all on the bike trail. There'll be, the gas station's gonna be back a little ways. That makes sense because it's gotta have that gas station parking out front. But, so basically, almost everyone in that district so far, especially in that area, have gotten variances. Because you've got, what do you got for lots? If we would have had, the reason why I write down on hardships there for this is that those lots were not meant to be under our zone. The lots are 100-foot wide. We're asking for huge variances for those, we're asking for two acre variances. We didn't make those lots in that. We made them commercial because it's already commercial. So my argument with it is that we've got some hardship, we've already done it, and Stringers is not, they participate. They push theirs too.
Okay.
Everybody's pushing lot lines out. And it's all caused by, I believe, improperly done lots in the first place, which none of us can do anything about.
One thing for me is Mr. Stevens on this actually has 2 different lots there. So he's the adjoining property owners on, both sides. So I think that also changes a dynamic because basically the whole part between the 2 meadows of buildings is gonna be his snow removal.
Right, but you're asking for the 15 on the west side.
Yes.
You want
Yeah,
the variance
yeah.
there, right.
Yeah.
And you can't run, you don't want it the other way. You can't shove your building to the east side of your lot.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know where your existing building comes to on that lot either. We don't have a picture.
Do we have a motion on this issue?
I'd move to approve the variance minimum yard requirement from 100 feet to 93 feet, rear yard from 50 to 15 feet, and one side yard 25 feet to 15 feet.
Can we also add to that, Pat, that there was no public comment? I know, but if we didn't, then we'd like to rechange the motion. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second the motion. What was the additional one?
The addition was that there was no public input for or against or
Yeah.
comment received at the planning commission.
To amend the motion, the seconded motion, that there was no public input, positive or negative.
Okay. All right, so you approved the 3 yard variances on the front, the side, and the rear for the Stevens application. Kresinger,
Yes.
Kettering,
Yes.
Udall,
Yeah.
Williams,
Yes.
Olmsted,
No.
Welch.
Yes.
2, 3, 4, yea, 2 nay. Motion carries.
There's only one name.
There's only one day.
No, I got Zane.
Well, I said yes.
Oh, did you?
I'm sorry, I was stuttering there, I guess.
5 yea, 1 nay. Yes, Ron.
I'm probably a little late on this discussion, but what's in that 25 feet? Is that grass, or is it cement, or is it rock?
There's a fence in there. Is it concrete all the way over there? Are you concrete to concrete on your west lot line?
Yes, yeah, asphalt,
Asphalt?
yeah, we asphalted that
Okay.
15 years ago, we asphalted that, all that property out
There's a
there.
chain link fence. and
Yeah.
there's-
Now that'll probably come down with the new building, or how's that gonna work?
No, we're gonna, we're just gonna put, perimeter footings in for the building, and I'm gonna use the existing asphalt for the floor of the building. Okay?
This is a heated building or storage?
Well, it's a storage building, but,
Cold storage.
it's a storage building, but I've got, in my drawings here, I got provisions to put heat in it, put a couple, 2 heaters in it, and also provisions to put electrical in it, no plumbing. Okay?
The next item on the agenda tonight is 725, I'm sorry.
Thanks, everybody, appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. Robert Osborne, if I pronounced it wrong, I apologize. Applicant is requesting a variance of minimum lot requirement from 20 acres to 12 acres, plus or minus 12.15 in the agriculture district in Yankton County. Said property is legally described as Lot F2 and Lot F3, northeast 1/4, Section 3, Township 93 North, Range 57 West, hereinafter referred as Ziz Cobb, South Township, County of Yankton, State of South Dakota. 911 address is 43175 South Dakota Highway 50, Yankton, South Dakota. Mr. Osborne, if you could tell us about your project.
Yeah, we bought the acreage last fall, and our plan was to build a new house on it.
So he came in and was gonna get a building permit, and if you take a look at the picture you have in front of you, you can see the farmstead. And if you follow the farmstead driveway down into the farmstead ways, he was gonna build it down on the south end of that parcel. And then when I looked at this parcel even closer, I saw lot lines inside there. And he was within 75 foot of the lot line that's inside this parcel.
At that triangular point there.
Yeah, and so we went and looked, and we got 2 different parcels in this. And he knows he bought 2 parcels, but I can't put a house within 75 foot of that lot line. So,
But
instead
you
of doing
want
a
both.
yard variance, we're gonna combine the 2 lots. We're getting rid of that triangle. If we take a look at the plat now gets rid of that triangle. Now we have 1 lot, that's a total of 12 plus acres. That still needed a variance because it's under 20 acres.
Right.
And so.
That makes much more sense to what you just said than what this thing said. Sure.
So that's why he's in front of you today to go through the variance process.
Okay. Have you started your house yet?
We'll dig Monday, is the plan. I don't know what the others are.
Good deal.
If you didn't approve it, there was that lot line going down, you had the bathroom set right in the middle. You wouldn't be, which side of the commode would you use?
What's that?
Hey, we
On
go
the
ahead.
line, huh? On the line.
Thank you, sir. Then, all of this,
Thanks.
What's that?
Thank you.
thank you. You can sit down while the public.
Oh, all right.
Is there anyone in the audience who would speak opposed to this project?
We're here because of this project, just wanting to know what's going on and to
Can
meet
you
our
come up and,
neighbors.
come up and identify yourself? And approximately how far you live, that's what we always do.
Across Highway 50,
Okay,
I'm Bonnie Knoll. The property we have has been in our family for over 100 years. We just want to be sure what's going on.
That's great.
That's all.
Because the farmstead's across the road from you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you-
But on the other side of the road is farmland, our farmland.
Yeah.
And a lake, slough, and
Do you understand what we're doing?
it sounds
That
like.
makes sense?
Yeah, you
Okay,
wanna-
so, real quickly, they have, when the Feldmeyers owned it, they took that lot and made 2 lots. The farmstead, they made 2 lots. And now we're gonna get rid of the 2 lots and make it 1 lot again. And they're- and so-
Where's that in regard to the old house, that old big white house of Phil Myers?
Well, they own it now, and there's a tenant in there now, isn't there? Yes. So that house, and that's their property now, and then we're gonna build a house to the south of that, is what your intentions are? Yes.
South of it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. There's no further discussion from the audience. Back to the planning commission for any comments, questions, clarification.
Yeah. I make a motion that we approve the variance in the lot requirement from 20 acres to 12 acres in agricultural district.
Second.
Why is it we can't just make this one?
You can't, it's gonna be platted.
Oh, we'll replat it.
That'd be next.
Okay, that's, okay.
What was the question, Dave?
No, she answered it.
Roll call, Pat.
Okay. So this is for approval of the variance of Homestead.
Yes.
Kresinger,
Yes.
Rudolph,
Yeah.
Williams,
Yes.
Kettering,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right. The next item on the agenda, let me make sure we're well. At 7:35 PM is, oh wait, actually, back up, I gotta do the plat for this one of these kids. For Mr. Osborne, is a replat of lot F23 north, 1/2, northeast 1/4, section 3, township 93 north, range 57 west, hereinafter referred to as zip code South Township, County of Yankton, State of South Dakota, 911, address is South Dakota Highway 43175, Highway 50, plat for under plat consideration.
I move we approve it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, Pat.
John Williams, on second.
Yes, that was done.
Okay, for plat consideration, recommendation approval, Kresinger,
Yep.
Williams,
Yes.
Rudolph,
Yes.
Homestead,
Yes.
Kettering,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
motion carried.
The next item on the agenda is Crown Castle USA. Applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to change antennas on an existing tower. Said property is legally described as northwest 1/4, section 32, township 94 north, range 57 west, hereinafter referred to as zip code North Township, County of Yankton, State of South Dakota, 911, address is 42943 308th Street, Tabor, South Dakota. A representative for Crown Castle.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich Kruger, District Real Estate Specialist over in the Yankton's office in this area. But, basically, we just want to switch up some antennas on the tower.
You gotta speak up.
Existing tower, correct.
Speak up just a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, existing tower. We're not gonna build any tower. There's a mount there and everything. It's basically switching out really heavy DVD players. We don't want to sit at home entertainment center, so we have to explain it. So it's like a day-long project or something like that.
6 antennas, you can swap out.
Yep. There'll be associated equipment along with that as well.
And this is along 308th Street.
Towers are already there.
Yep.
Correct.
There's no change to the tower, just
No. No.
antenna
Just
heads.
equipment.
Just equipment, yeah, just equipment small.
Improved service,
What's that?
it'll all ultimately be improved service.
Yeah, so basically what's going on right now is AT&T's going through, it's AT&T's applicant on our tower. We own the infrastructure, they come to us, pay us rent, that kind of stuff. They're going through a big upgrade within the South Dakota, Nebraska market right now. T-Mobile as well. I'm not really sure if they're going into Yankton County or not, but Western expansion is pretty much the name of the game for the network carriers right now. Might be big three if the Sprint and T-Mobile merger goes through, so. But the expansion is to go out west. If you see those heat maps, we call them, over all the services and the national commercials, you can see they're starting to fill in out to the west now.
You have one right by that corner.
I'll check a heat map, see if we need coverage out there.
We all do in this
30
county.
feet, 30 feet, that'll go 30 feet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll discuss, you can sit down and we'll discuss. So, is there anyone in the audience that is opposed to this project? Is there anyone in the audience in favor of this project? There's no input in the audience, back to the planning commission, any questions or comments?
I move we approve it.
I'll say.
Roll call, Pat.
Who did my second?
William,
Zane.
Now, I want you to be aware though that our package for this thing, that's engineering specs, all that kind of thing. If any of you want to come see this and get really interested in this kind of stuff, come on. Every one of these has this stuff. And then this is what we compare to and we get building permit. So we do know what they're putting out there, just so you know it's that thing.
you?
Okay. Then, for approval on the tower on 308 Street, Cutsinger,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Rudolph,
Yes.
Goldenstedt,
Yes.
Kettering,
Yes.
Welch.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The 7:45 agenda item is Crown Castle USA. Applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to change antennas on an existing tower. Said property is legally described as lots 2, 3, and 4, southwest 1/4, northwest 1/4, section 13, township 95 north, range 56 west, hereinafter referred to as Central Township, County of Yankton, state of South Dakota. 911 address is 29950 39th Street, or Avenue, Utica, South Dakota. Mr. Crown Castle representative?
You can call me Rich. Same thing, yeah, same.
Ditto.
Yeah, switch out.
So this is on Central. They need some coverage of that area.
Yeah, everywhere it does.
This is on
We have a picture of it?
this one's on here. This one isn't getting as much equipment, it looks like, it's only $4,000 on valuation of work on this one, the other one at 10.
The 10 was mine, the one that I applied for, I don't know if it's different equipment or what's going on. We have a central team that usually handles, so my role is basically coming to planning commission meetings and dealing with large volume jurisdictions such as Minneapolis, yada, yada, yada. Whenever there's a planning commission meeting, I have to come, so here I am. Sometimes they're applied to, these two I believe were applied to, one by myself, the other one by someone in the central team out in Pittsburgh, which is the hub of the Midwest. I was on maternity leave with my child, so I came home and they said, hey, go to these planning commission meetings, so
So
here I am.
what's an RRHS?
That is a remote radio head. Basically, the antenna is what broadcasts the signal. Radio heads will be.
So that's what you're adding to this quote, is 3 of those.
Okay.
Replacement.
All right.
Add
Those are even smaller.
RRHS and 1 DC cable.
Okay. DC is just a power cable.
Just replacement.
And the other one had 6, 3 RRHSs, and 3 RRHSs for this kid, so. Got it.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this? Is anyone in the audience speak opposed to this? Back to Planning Commission?
Move approval of the CUP application.
Second.
Don is there.
Okay, so for the Utica site, Kevin,
Yes.
Olmsted,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Rudolph,
Yes.
Bessinger,
Yes.
Welsh.
Yes.
I'd like him to do a little presentation here, just a quick brief background. Crown Castle is a tower owner. And like he said, that his customers, or Crown Castle's customers are Verizon, or AT&T. There's some different things going on here, and as we're blending our way through this, we have new towers and we have modification. And FCC, is that right? FCC,
Yeah, yes.
Federal Communications, so they're getting involved in this, permitting things, they're getting right down into the hard level. But I'll have him do a quick presentation for you, get kind of up to speed of what's just recent.
It's 4
So
slides.
I promised it wasn't very long.
Yeah, it's 4 slides. I don't want to waste your time here. So basically, an eligible facility request, 6409A, within the 2012 Middle Class Tax Relief Job Creation Act, there's 6409. It just outlined the general review process for local jurisdictions such as Yankton County when reviewing certain scopes of work, being what we're talking about today, swapping out antennas, adding antennas, basically smaller scopes of work. The FCC came back in 2014 and clarified the definition and processes in that piece of legislation, because it was very vague at the time. They said, well, you can't do a substantial change. Well, what does that mean, right? So they went back and they clarified that, and then from 2014 to the present, eligible facilities request is what happens when you ask for something that is not a substantial change. Basically, they've been handled as administrative processes, so the PAT would handle this by itself within 60 days, which we'll get into quickly here. Here's a definition of substantial change. So this stuff, it would have to go through a planning commission, usually PC, CC, board of adjustment, stuff like that. Increases the height by up to 20 feet or 10%, whichever's greater. So the 10% stuff would be for monopole or guide towers that are 300 feet tall, so you can do 30 feet, but you can do 20 feet. Protrudes from the edge of the tower, so if you're going like 20 feet past the edge of the tower, which I don't understand how that happens, but apparently it does sometimes. I've never seen it. Installation of more standard, the standard new equipment cabinets, so 4 or less, I believe, or 4 or more for substantial change, excavating outside the current site, which is the lease area usually, defeats the existing concealment element. So if you had a mound pole that looks like a flag pole, and then someone says like, hey, I want to put a big array or make that flag pole 6 feet wide or something like that, so it doesn't look like a flag pole, you deny that. Or it just doesn't comply with any conditions, prior approval of the tower, unless the compliance is due to increase in height with cabinets, the previous five criteria. So timeline, I would submit basically what I get Pat right now, your building permit stuff, any bond, COI, structural analysis, construction drawings, that kind of stuff. I pay my fees. Pat will look at it and be like, hey, look, we do IBC 215, you gave me a structural in International Building Code 2012, fix this. I'm like, okay, thank you for that written notice. Here you go, here's your new structural. Tolling period, mutual agreement or written notice, so Pat would just send me an email saying, hey, your structural drawn. Has to be within 30 days, so you just can't sit on it and then come back 45 days later and say, oh, guess what, you actually owe me $5 or whatever it is. After I responded to the request, jurisdiction's got 10 days to check out that missing information to make sure that or to tell me that they were insufficient. So if he asks for a new structural, I give him back a structural that's from 2018 IBC, and it's still not 2015. He has 10 days to tell me, hey, you gave me the wrong one again. Because it's just one piece of information, instead of a whole application. Failure to approve the application if I've done everything correctly within the time frame, it just says deemed approved. Which it's a gray area right now. So basically, if you read the bill, it sounds like a zoning thing, right? So it says you gotta approve this, you gotta zone it. But it doesn't say much about permitting, but what's the point of zoning if you can't get the permit, right? So they say like, yeah, you can go ahead and do it, but then you just sit there with your head, you're sitting on your hands, right? That's it. So, any questions? Yeah, I said it quick, right?
So even if we didn't do anything, if it was all right, it'd still be done anyway.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so there's a little bit of shifting in that, but as we go through the zoning ordinance in the future, too, that will be something we'll have to address.
Yeah, I can't lobby. I'm not a registered lobbyist or anything like that, but yeah, I'm in contact with Pat. Any questions? And though there's applications on these towers on a pretty regular basis. So any kind of questions will get filtered from Pat to me, and I'll answer them as they come. I've been through this process before with counties moving from different processes with the same consultant, I believe. And basically what they do is they look up a checklist. You got this, got that, got this. Give us $250, build a tower, stuff like that. And it doesn't take like 10 years or whatever it did before. So that's it. Thanks.
That brings us to the end of the agenda items. There were 4 people that signed up for public comment. Doug Stevens, Becky Stevens, Bonnie Knoll, Delight Paulson. Any of those people here?
I think they all left.
I think, yeah, maybe not.
I think they were
Confused.
two sisters.
I don't think they realized that they were sending it.
That's fair, though. We move forward, okay?
And now we have administrative items.
Do I have anything?
No, it says
No.
administrative.
No. We are going to have to discuss, the commission asked us to take a look, the county commission asked us to take a look at the articles regarding accessory structures.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna pull together some information and give us something to get started with, and then we'll discuss it at the next county commission meeting, whether we're gonna have a committee or what we'll do. Okay, so think that through a bit, and then we'll talk about, I'll have that as an agenda item next meeting. Anything else I should? I think everything else is
Your
efficient. I'll
signature
get my
things
sound
here.
system fixed,
Yes.
and then I'm gonna get this computer thing fixed, so they're both on the
Put that on your list because it bothered us at the commission
Can't
meeting
be
too.
doing this.
You don't want to push off the commission.
No, we couldn't, it didn't work that night either.
Do we have to sign anything?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Who did the second?
I do.
Aggressive.